Good day, everyone. This time, we will be discussing the third skill that a social worker must hone in working with and mobilizing communities. That is, the campaign planning and management. It is important to note that this skill is not usually taught to social workers. This is being introduced in this course in the belief that it can actually enrich our practice as community organizers and for more effective mobilizations. Now, for the outline of this presentation, we do have our objectives. Next would be the discussion on what is a campaign. That is to be followed by the discussion on the roles of campaigns in community mobilization. Then after which would be the discussion on the objectives in launching campaigns. Next is the types of campaigns. Then the components of a campaign. And the last but not the least, definitely, would be the step-by-step campaign planning. For our objectives, in this session, we do have first is to define the roles of campaigns in community mobilization. Next is to be able to determine or identify the components of a campaign. And the last would be to give or provide critique of a campaign plan. Now, let's discuss what is a campaign. Campaign has actually political features. It was coined originally by military strategists. Therefore, the definition, a connected series of military operations forming a distinct phase of war. Furthermore, campaigns are associated with activities engaged in by individuals for the purpose of getting elected or retained in public office, just like in election. In the context of social and liberation movements in developing countries like the Philippines, campaign is a planned and organized series of activities with a definite set of objectives for a given time frame. Campaign is geared towards mobilization of large number of people to resolve issues being advanced by the community or at least pave the way for the resolution of issues. Community and sectoral organizations in the country utilize campaigns to advance causes or concerns related to basic survival issues to self-sufficiency. In other words, for people to empower themselves to either reclaim, defend, or advance issues of control or power over resources, campaigns have been an integral part of community initiatives, whatever it may be called, either people's participation, participatory politics, or mass campaign. Now, what is the role or what are the roles of campaigns in community mobilization? Why is it important in community mobilization? As we all know, community mobilizations rotate around access and control to community resources. Community mobilizations are integral to campaigns, but unlike campaigns, they are more reactive and short term. An example for this is that residents of an ecologically threatened community can be mobilized to gather old tires for building artificial reefs or fish shelters. Another example is mobilizing the same residents to join other communities and sectors in holding a picket dialogue with the local government for stricter regularization of factories and industries polluting fishing grounds. Moreover, campaigns lend greater power to community mobilization. They cut through bureaucracy, interlacing the community's agenda for development. Largely, campaigns provide an avenue for communities to advance, reclaim, or defend the control and access of resources. It strengthens the unity among people, making them appreciate the power of collective thinking as well as action in finding solutions to issues affecting their daily lives. There are three objectives in launching campaigns. First is to strengthen the unity of the people in the community. Second is to enhance the people's confidence and capability in resolving their problems. And the third is to allow the people to gain practical experiences in resolving their problems as a community and as a people towards raising their consciousness. Mainly, there are two types of campaigns. We have the campaigns by objectives and the issue-based campaigns. Let's discuss first campaigns by objectives, which are categorized into three: political, organizational, and educational. When I say political campaigns, it is concerned with political issues, as the name suggests, or issues referring to succession and or use of power. An example is the electoral campaign, subsumed by local officials among their constituents in order to ensure that they vote for their candidates during elections. On the other hand, organizational campaigns is concerned on consolidation and or expansion of communities and or select sectoral organizations. The aim of organizational campaign is to add vigor to the organization weighed down by age, bureaucracy, and demoralization, among others. Further, capability building of community organizations to respond to the needs of their members and challenges before them. This includes skills upgrading, clarifying or streamlining structures, and fundraising. Educational campaigns focus on raising the consciousness of community on issues affecting their lives. A very example for this is the voters' education campaigns in 1990 to 1985 by the Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting of the Archdiocese of Manila, which was aimed to assist Filipino voters in selecting political leaders according to a criteria set by the Archdiocese. Now, what is issue-based campaigns? Issue-based campaigns are commonly undertaken by people's organization. An example is the 1989 Human Rights and Ethics Campaign plan by the National Federation of Sugar Workers. wherein the issue being addressed was the transformation of the Sugar Development Fund into fund support for vigilante groups suspected of committing human rights violations. Now, what are the components of campaign? There are 7: information work, education work, media liaison work, campaign machinery, resource mobilization, coalition or alliance work, and the mass action. Now, let's discuss first information work. The objective is to make the people in the community to be aware about the existence of the issue at hand. The more people who know about the issue, the better it is for the campaign. Further, information work provides synthesis or vehicle for the people who are already aware of the issue but are having difficulty in articulating their stand on the issue. When we say information work, it could be in the form of written, audio-visual, and audiovisual. Written forms, these include pamphlets, manifestos, newsletters, comics, press releases, and statements. Audio forms, an example is public broadcast, mobile propaganda teams, door-to-door, among others. Visual forms, on the other hand, include on-the-spot painting, mural making, photo and or art exhibits, placards, etc. The audiovisual forms include slide showing, film showing, television appearances, street plays. Education work creates avenues or venues for the community to deepen its understanding of the many aspects of the issue. It could be done through structured discussions among themselves and or with other POs faced with the same problems or with experts. Formal or informal, it could also be internal or popular. Now, an example for formal education are symposia, fora, seminars, retreats, focus group discussion, classroom type discussion, among others. On the other hand, informal education examples include group informal sharing, workshops, bentong barbero, etc. Internal education are for members having crucial roles in the campaign. An example are speakers, writers. Popular education gives importance to the people's level of consciousness. It is quote-unquote popular because it has objectives, characteristics, content, and a methodology consistent with the needs of the people and their concrete experiences. Media liaison work aims to make the issue and the campaign known to others, thus creating and or strengthening public opinion in favor of the community. Campaign machinery is defined as a structural and conceptual framework through which plans and activities are integrated and coordinated into a systemic flow. Further, it is the allocation of people and resources into working cells waged under one system. It is also the identification of communication lines and methods through which the work of the cells are coordinated.